At least one daughter gave me grandchildren, Mom announced at Thanksgiving dinner. My son was sitting right there. I adopted Luca when he was 5 and he's 18 now. For 13 years, I've watched my parents spoil my sister Kate's 2 kids while treating my son like he didn't exist. Private school for them, public school for us. New cars at 16 for them, nothing for Luca. Every family dinner, my parents would brag about the college funds they set up, $25,000 for each grandkid, ready when they turn 18. Luca heard all of this. When he asked if he had a fund too, I had to tell him to go play outside because I couldn't answer that question. Then Luca got into MIT, but his scholarship didn't cover housing. I needed $15,000 yearly and had only saved enough for year 1. So I asked my parents for help even though I knew how this would go. Mom didn't even look up from her magazine when she said, "We can't give money to every child who needs it. Every child, like my son, was just some random kid." Dad said, "The funds are for real family. You knew that when you adopted." Luca was waiting in the car to thank them for whatever they could spare. I told him they weren't home and watched his face drop. That night, I decided I was done playing nice. Kate's daughter's graduation party was the next week at the country club. $8,000 according to my cousin who worked there, with chocolate fountains and ice sculptures. These people who claimed they were too broke to help with college threw an $8,000 party. Mom gave this speech about how her biological grandchildren were her greatest investment and legacy. So I stood up and announced that Luca got accepted to MIT. Everyone clapped politely, but Kate rolled her eyes and said, "Too bad you can't afford it." That's when I dropped the bomb. I explained that Mom and Dad had $50,000 saved, but Luca didn't qualify because he was adopted. Mom's face went white and Dad said, "He's not real family." He announced this to 200 people without any shame. So I asked Kate if she'd ever seen the actual accounts with her kids' names on them. She looked confused and asked what I meant. I wondered out loud if the money actually existed in protected accounts or just sat in Mom and Dad's savings. Mom stammered that they didn't need to show paperwork. I pulled out my phone and listed their recent expenses. This party, $40,000 for home renovations last year, $12,000 for their European cruise. Where did that money come from if they were too broke to help? Kate's face changed as she did the math. She asked, "Mom, where is my kids' college money?" Mom admitted they had to borrow from it temporarily because of Dad's business problems. Kate demanded to know how much. Mom whispered, "Most of it." The party ended with Kate screaming, "You stole from my children." Guests were literally running to their cars to escape the drama. Mom kept saying they'd replace everything, but everyone knew that was impossible. These people who valued bloodlines so much had robbed their own biological grandchildren to fund their lifestyle. Kate grabbed her kids and left immediately. She told Mom not to contact them again until every penny was returned. 2 days later, Dad had a stress-induced heart attack and needed surgery. Insurance covered the basic procedure, but Mom wanted the premium surgeon, which cost $30,000 extra. When she showed up at my door, she looked destroyed. Her eyes were swollen and she could barely stand. She begged, "Please, we're family. Family helps family." I said, "You told me Luca wasn't family." She fell to her knees on my porch and grabbed my hand. She'd apologize to Luca, call him her grandson, put him in the will, anything I wanted. I pulled my hand away and asked where Kate was. Mom admitted she won't answer her door. So I said, "Your real daughter with her real grandchildren abandoned you, and now you're begging the fake daughter?" She just stared at me with this broken expression. I said, "Dad will be fine with the basic surgeon," and closed the door. I watched through the window as she struggled to get up and stumble back to her car. Dad survived, but barely, needing constant care. The medical bills wiped them out. They lost their house within 6 months and had to move in with Mom's sister 3 states away. Luca graduated MIT debt-free thanks to grants and loans I co-signed. Mom sends birthday cards from 3 states away. He throws them out unopened.